Welcome to Inside the Healing House. This is a space for grounded conversations that are raw, that are authentic. It's not us trying to paint a pretty picture. No, some of these stories are about what it really feels like to be inside of your healing journey. Okay, so we're not about fixing here. We're not about diagnosing or telling you what to do. It's really about you seeing yourself in this story, or maybe about helping someone else see that themselves in this story. So today I'm with Kristine. She is a member of the Healing House. For those of you guys who don't know what the Healing House is, it's a group of women that are together, that are in their healing journey, that are just there to be with each other and really what it looks like to heal and really have the resources that you need in order to get to that point. So if you're the person who likes to take notes, I tell you right now, don't take any notes. I want you to just be here present with us, listening to this conversation, because that's really what I want. Imagine if you are sitting on the front porch with us, if you're on the couch, and we are just speaking as friends. So see yourself here with us having a conversation. Okay, so Kristine, we'll start. This is simple, right? One question to start this whole entire conversation is, where are you right now in your body, in your life, in your healing? Just start there.
All right. So my journey, it's been a long one. It's already been going on 4 years that I've been dealing with all sorts of different illnesses. And, I'm a young mom. I have a 3-year-old, almost 4-year-old. And, I feel like I relate to a lot of moms who maybe their health stuff started after they had kids too. And I know that can be both so hard. I know for me, you have this idea of what motherhood's supposed to look like. And when the world doesn't look like that, or you get
Mm.
stacked full of new problems, it's a whole different thing to juggle. But right now, I have made progress in ways that I didn't think were possible. Um, I'm still dealing with health problems, still dealing with new health problems, things that doctors can't tell me what's wrong. Um, I'm definitely a researcher. I'm a type A person, like many of us are.
Mhm.
And I've tried to figure it out all on my own, which I've done okay, but there was some things I was missing, right? And so right now, the biggest thing is stability. Like I feel like I'm at a place where when people ask me, how you doing? I'm like, well, I'm hanging in there. It's always my
Mm.
response. I'm hanging in there. I can't say like, I'm better. I
Yeah.
can't say like, well, I'm doing horrible. I'm just hanging in there because I feel like I've gotten to a point where lately, knock on wood, I've been stable in the
Yeah.
sense of like things haven't gotten worse. And I'll take that win. Um,
Huge.
and so, yeah, definitely huge. And I think, you know, there's a time where I feel like all my health problems, I'm always at this very edge of a ledge. And let's say, like right now, y'all can hear me stuffy nose, a little cold, some allergies, my daughter gets hurt,
Mm.
whatever the thing is in life. It might be like a normal thing for like a normal person. But for me, it's like psh, jump off of the edge of the
Mm.
cliff, because it's just like I can't handle one more thing. My
Mm.
bucket is full with like I can handle all the things I'm already dealing with, not one more thing, even though it's a minor thing, right? And so I appreciate the time that I'm stable in the sense that nothing new is coming up, nothing new is popping up. I'm handling the things that I know how to handle, and I also feel like since joining the healing house, since learning about that part that the doctors don't say, the
Mm.
nervous system, the mindset, like all those things, I never took those things into consideration
Mm.
before. My mom would tell me, like, oh, you're anxious or stop thinking about it. Like, okay, yeah, I could just turn off my brain if that was that easy. We all would.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, but I feel like I've come to a point now where I don't yet know how to fix the problems when I start going out of
Mhm.
control in my mind. But I know there's nervous system resets and all those things, and they're small little things
Mhm.
that help. But I feel like for me, the biggest change is just being aware that I'm spiraling. I never
Mm,
had that awareness
mm,
before. I was just like freaking
huge.
out.
It's huge.
So I feel like I'm like, oh, there I am. I'm going crazy. I don't know how to fix it, but I know it's happening. And
Yeah.
so, yeah,
I love that. You said so many great things. Like, first off, I think many, many other mothers are going to relate to the fact of even before kids or after, whatever it is, the fact of having a young
yeah,
one, like having a young kid and feeling sick and exhausted, like sucks, right? Like
hmm,
you of course envision this idea of motherhood, and then also when it comes and you're like this and you're like, oh, okay, well, I can't do what I want to
right.
do, or you
Yep,
maybe get a little, you snap at them because you're just
yeah,
exhausted and you don't want to,
yep,
like so many things. So I feel so many people can relate to that. And but I think the biggest thing that I take out of what you just said is huge. And I know you from before, so I feel like it means so much more. But the fact that you have that awareness is huge to me. Like the fact that you're like, well, I'm stable. Like that's huge. I think that's something that when you are sick all the time and you're constantly Googling and figuring things out, like I know for me
hmm,
personally, like being stable was weird, right? Like I
right,
kept thinking, oh, hold on, I'm sick, so that means I'm gonna get more sick. Like I kept waiting for the
right.
next shoe to drop, right? Like the next
Yeah,
shoe to drop because it had, right? Like one thing would
yes,
derail. So like the fact that you're stable is huge, and I think a lot of people get there and then it scares them so much that it reverts right back, right? And so the
yeah,
fact that you're like literally stable, you're realizing, hey, I'm aware, like, I think that's massive. Like, and I think that when it comes to healing, like, we want huge shifts, right? We want that
right.
automatic, like, I feel great. But that's realistically, that's just not what healing is. And the fact of where you're at right now, it seems like a really good spot. Like, you even seem pretty, like, a little like hesitant, but you still feel good about it. Like, okay, I'm stable. And that's what I'm working with. I'm not expecting anything more right now but
Hmm.
stability. And I think you
Yep,
even accepting that is huge because it's like you're slowly shifting into that identity of like, hold on, I'm stable. Like I'm
right.
stable. I can sit with the safety of being stable. And I think that's huge. How do you feel like that is different? Like I know you mentioned before you used to like
Yeah,
completely, but how do you feel like that's changed your life just from being in this mindset in this state?
yeah. I mean, it in so there's some pros and cons, right? Like I feel that, and when I say cons, I don't mean bad as in like it's bad for me. But there's some fear that comes with it. And
Mm,
so, that stability, it there is a little bit of a fear, like you said, of like what's gonna like I'm nothing bad's happening, what's coming next, because I was
mm,
so used to that. And so trying to get out of that mindset has been a little bit challenging with the stability. But on the other end, I really feel like it's helped me so much when it comes to just everyday life, like you said.
yeah.
Like my husband's not, I mean, I just said it the other day, the other day to him when I got sick, right? I'm like, you haven't heard me complain about some of these of my normal issues as much as I used to. Because I mean, for those of you who are married out there or with a partner or whatever, like, it becomes part of your relationship
Yeah.
too. And they get tired of hearing it. Just like, and they're like, is that all we have to talk about is your health problems, And so I think it's affected my relationship in a positive
Mm,
way. And it wasn't until I got sick and I started feeling bad where I was like, oh my gosh, is this going to affect my neck problems? Is this going to affect my immune system?
mm,
Is the thyroid stuff going to start showing up because I'm sick? And then I, like you said, that awareness, I was like, man, I haven't been talking about those
mm,
things as regularly as before. And I told my husband, like, remember, I haven't been saying it. Like, and he even was like, yeah, you haven't.
mm.
And so I think it's made a huge difference, but like I said, there's that little bit of like, oh, I like this. I don't want something to
Yeah,
happen.
of course.
Um, and then at the same time, there's a part of you or a part of me that um it's uncomfortable in the sense that I am a researcher. I want to fix it. So I still know there's things wrong with me. And yeah, I may be relying on some medical things, some medicine to keep me stable. And, there was a time where I really fought that too, where I was
Mm,
like, no, no, I have to do this on my own. But I've become comfortable with where I'm at with it to where I don't feel like every time I take that pill, I'm like,
Mm,
oh, like, or that whatever it is, that supplement, that this, that, the other, because I feel like that was also a fight. Like I felt like in my body, it wasn't the medicine, the things they weren't working for me because it was almost like, oh my God, I have to take this. Like this is horrible for me, or I don't want to be having to take these, try doing all these things. And so it's like that safety. It feels more safe. And um, you know, I do feel like it's been a positive thing. It's just, trying to continue to remind myself that it is okay to be here and just
mm,
sit with this. I don't, there's some things in my mind where I said in the new year I was gonna try this protocol or try these injections or whatever. And they're still in my mind. There's still options there, they're there. And if things get worse, I know that they're
mm,
tools that I can
mm.
use. And there's a part of me, the fear of like, well, maybe I should just try them anyways. But again, I'm happy with where I'm at for the moment without spending tons of money, I'm like, they're still there. I know they're possibilities, uh, but I'm okay like right here. I don't have to try something new. Like I'm okay right here.
Huge. I mean, honestly, Christine, like huge. I think this is a place that many of us struggle because I know I did. I'm very
Hmm.
much type A. Like, I'm very much like, it
Yeah.
was very hard for me to get to a point of realizing, like, I don't have to try something else. I don't have to. Like, if I'm
Yeah.
okay, like, let me be okay being here, right? Because you almost
Right.
sometimes feel like, and honestly, you can relate that to work, right? Like if you're not working
Yes.
hard or if you're not working this, like you feel like it's not enough. But realizing
Right.
that, hold on, maybe it is enough just to be here, like be stable where I'm at. And yes, if something comes up, well, you'll deal with it. But like not to
Yes.
have to always be concerned with the next thing. Like let me try this protocol, let me
Yes.
try this, and just allow healing to happen naturally. And I do
Hmm.
love what you said about the medicine because I'm a nurse. My background is in nursing. So I have this like mixed feelings, right?
Hmm.
Where I do believe in holistic health. I believe in that. But I also believe there's a time for medicine, right? There is a time that our bodies do need support. And I think I fought that for a long time too, and with
Hmm.
many things, and realizing like it's okay. Like it's okay if you take a supplement. It's okay if you take a medication. Like that's not bad, right? And really using it as support, like supporting our body,
Right.
loving our body. It's not a bad thing. And I think there's some stigma on both sides sometimes, like, oh, people who don't
Hmm.
use any medicines, and then those people who use every medicine. It's like, no. I think ultimately you're making decisions from what it sounds like. It seems like you're making decisions that align with you and what you feel is best, right? And
Hmm.
probably through, prayer and whatever it is, like you're
Hmm.
figuring out what's best for you. And ultimately, that's what it's about, right? And I think that it's not about someone telling you what there is to do, what you should, what you shouldn't. It's about you figuring out, okay, your body knows, right? I mean, your bodies were created to be able to heal themselves. They just need
Right.
the support inside to do that. So I think it's beautiful that you've gotten to that point of like, wow, like I'm not going to try one more thing, like right now, right? So, how does that make you like? How do you feel about that? Like, I know you're kind of like you kind of hinted a little bit, but like, how does that feel in your body? Even though there's little fear and all of that, ultimately, what are you feeling about where you're at in the sense of not trying something else? All of that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I kind of, touched on it before, but, it does feel very contrary to my norm, um, to my personality type, to what I've been doing for 3.5 years nonstop. I'm Dr. Google, and it's hard because you go into these doctors' offices and anyone who has chronic illnesses and things, the doctors, you're not going to say, well, I looked this up. You find
Yeah,
another way to say it, right? You're like, well, a friend told me, or,
yeah.
do these things, right? But, so it's a little bit contrary to my norm. And I still catch myself doing it. Um, Especially like when new things pop up. But I think one thing I keep reminding myself through all this, because I've been through so many ups and downs, like some bad, bad downs and this has probably been the best up, right? Like I'm
Mm,
stable. Um, is that like I've gotten through some horrible things. And so
mm,
when weird things pop up, whether it's a little cold, whether it's a flare up of old symptoms, it is hard to not like, you know, your mind just go haywire.
of course.
But I just keep reminding myself, like, I've been through it before. I can get
Mhm,
through it again. Like,
mm,
man, I never thought I'd get through that other thing, and I did. And so I think that is something that helps me to not try to just go crazy when something happens, I can enjoy the moment that I'm in right
mm,
now. Um, and also because I've had so many downs, that the stable times, I really don't take them for granted anymore. I'm like, oh, I'm feeling well. Like before, there was times where I was stable. I didn't realize I was stable. I
mm.
was still searching for other fixes, and I wasn't even doing that bad, right? Like
Mm,
I'm like, when I
yeah,
look back at it, I had a huge flare up, and I'm like, man, okay, I wasn't actually doing that bad. I should have like taken my daughter to the park or whatever it was. And so now that when there's times of stability, um, I try not to be searching things up like, well, in case I
mm,
get worse again, what happens if this happens? And that
mm.
I'm just like, okay, let me just live in the present, um, as best as I can. And, you know, I think that's been really, really big for me, because I can look back at the last 3 years and you know, every time I had a bad flare, every time something got worse, I always said, well, I wasn't doing that bad before. I wish I could go back to how I was
Yeah,
before. But before, I thought I was doing horrible,
yeah,
in that
yeah.
time. And so now I'm just trying to be more present for myself, my family, my daughter. She has some health issues too, so it's hard also for moms out there who have health anxiety to not project
Mm,
that on your kids because that's
mm.
something I really struggle with. Like, oh, and, it could be like a super simple thing, and I'm like freaking out. She's got,
Of course.
something horrible, right? And so it's not just thing affecting my health, it's affecting her and like her future. And yeah, I'm still vigilant. I take her to the doctor when she needs to be and those kinds of things. But, you know, I'm just trying to be more present.
I think that's great, honestly. And I think sometimes we get caught in that chronic illness identity, right? Because we're
Hmm.
just stuck in it. We're sick. It's just one thing after the next. And then it's like I know we don't want to say normal person, right? But I know we've spoken about that in the community. Like
Yeah.
someone who doesn't suffer with chronic illness and someone who does. Someone
Right.
who doesn't suffer with chronic illness may have maybe a rash, right? And be like, oh, I got a rash. Must have like
Right.
touched something, right? And then it's like nothing, it goes away, right? Someone with chronic illness might get a rash and be like, oh my gosh, I'm flaring up. Like it's happening again. And then now they
Yeah.
spiral. So what happens? That rash turns into something more. And then now
Yep.
they're tired and it's like one thing after the next. And
Yes.
we don't realize that a lot of the times, we could have like a normal human experience, but because of what we've been through, we think it's all of this, right? And then
Yeah,
it's
we
like,
do. We feed it.
yes, we
Yeah.
do feed it. But I mean, how could you not, right? When you're
Right.
sick, like when you're over it. But sometimes you get trapped because that's all we know, right? And it just seems like you're
Mhm.
almost like you've pulled yourself out of it. And yes, of course you're going to have the fear. And of course you're going to probably have those moments where you're Googling. Like,
Yeah.
understandable, right? No one's perfect. None of us are. But the fact that you're aware of those moments, you're like, ooh, just went back there. Just about spiraled, right? Like I just is huge because you're able to pull
Mhm.
yourself out of that sick identity and realize, no, like I don't have to be chronically ill forever.
Mhm.
Like I don't have to feel chronically ill forever, right? You may have a condition, but I don't have to feel it. If I feel stable, let me just enjoy this present. Let me not think like, well, how
Right.
long is it going to last? And yes, that doesn't happen overnight. That's not something that you just wake up and be like, I'm fine. No, like this takes those intentional things, like you said, those little things that you've done that have added up to this moment. And I think it's huge because people do, we get trapped. We get trapped for years and in this cycle.
Mhm.
And then unfortunately, we don't get to enjoy our lives because we're so concerned. And like you said, we then get scared of what happens to our kids, right? Or even our spouses. Like we start
Mhm.
panicking because we're like, well, this happened to me, so what could happen to you? And then
Right.
it causes so much anxiety for us. So I
Yeah.
think that you pointed out a lot of things. And I think people who are in it may also resonate and be like, man, I've been there. And then people will come out, they're like, yeah, I remember, because I have seen people mention multiple times that it wasn't until when I got out, I realized, oh my goodness, like I can be okay. Like people go through these things
Right.
all the time and it doesn't spiral them. But when you're in it, that's the last thing you can see. You don't see that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It does take time. But man.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I feel like, you know, like you said, it becomes part of your identity, your family, your
Mhm.
friends. They know you're sick. They know something's wrong with you, whatever it is. And so going back to the very beginning of me saying like I'm hanging in there, it's almost you're almost scared to say I'm doing okay. I'm doing well. It's like you don't want to jinx it, right? You're like I'm
Yeah.
just, I'm hanging in there because
Yeah.
there's a part of me sometimes that's like, well, how can I explain I'm doing okay without, and then they're like, oh, you're healed. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
no, like I'm still dealing with these things, right?
Yeah.
But like, I am okay right now. And it's, you know, I, I am faith. I do have a big faith, so I do pray a lot, and um, whatever your, faith is out there, spirituality, whatever the universe, I do think that we like renew our minds with what we say, whether it's prayer or whether it's meditation or whatever it is, whatever that we're saying, that we're putting out there. And I think that's been big for me, just, saying like like I am okay this way. My body is healing, even if
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yes.
Um, it especially being young, the doctors tell you you're too young. Your family doesn't understand. There's lots of those sleepless nights that just, you stay up like, okay, who have I become? You don't even really know who you are anymore
Mm.
besides sick. And so I'm trying to reclaim like who I am, my identity, like what's my purpose out there, and also still trying to enjoy like living with pain and joy at the same time. Like I've
Mm.
heard people say, like, that's so important. And so that's something I'm trying to live with, right? Like, how do you simultaneously have both, you know, um, after you have a health illness or chronic pain or whatever, you like look at the other people around the world and you're just like, man, I wish I could go ride a roller coaster, or like they take advantage that they can walk into the grocery store and not be in pain. They might think I look normal, I'm smiling, but I'm hurting. And so trying to have pain and joy simultaneously, like being able to enjoy that is something that I've been trying to, I don't know, learn how to do.
Mm.
Um, so, yeah.
Yeah. And can you mention like how has that like how do you do that? Like how have you personally been able? I know it's still a work in progress, but like
Yeah, it's definitely still a work in progress. Um, I'm trying. I'm trying. But I think for me, I think the biggest thing for me, and I don't know, this is probably because I'm a little bit farther on like being for like already 4 years, at the beginning, there's no way I could do this because I thought I was going to get better, right? So I
yeah.
was searching for the next thing. Like, I'm going to get better. I'm going to go back to work tomorrow. Like, I'll be fine. Like, I'll go to work soon. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to get this treatment done. I'm going to be fine. So I was constantly Googling. But when it's come to a point where I'm like, okay, I've tried all these things. Some things help, some things don't, whatever. I'm taking the things that help, right? Like you said,
Mhm.
the things that support me, whether it's like medicine, whether it's physical things that I'm
Mhm.
doing, whatever it is. Um, but I, because it's been such a journey, I reminisce on the times where I'm like, man, I didn't enjoy being at the beach with my daughter the first time. And now I look back and I was like, I wasn't that bad. But, because all I was thinking about that whole time sitting on the beach with her at, 1 years old was like, was like, I wish I was in the waves right now. I wish I was jumping and I can't do that with my back. like I was sad, am I going to be able to do this next year? Am I going to die? Like what's going to happen? But in reality, I should have been like, well, I'm not in jumping on the waves, but I can sit and stand with her.
Mm,
Like I can, do those things. So because I've had such those sad, hard experiences, it's making me realize now with the joy and the pain, like, yeah, I might not be able to jump on the trampoline in the backyard with her, but I can sit and take videos of her while she does it and play music and blow bubbles to her while she's jumping. So just trying to find ways to enjoy
mm,
things because there were so many moments that I didn't get to enjoy it, not because I was sick and in pain. It was a part of it, but because I made myself not enjoy it.
mm, mm. I think that's huge. That's huge.
I'm
And
also love writing, so I've been writing a lot. Like
okay.
I like poems and those kind of things. So I'm trying to use my creative self
Mm,
um, to like be an outlet as well
mm,
as not just keep everything in my head, um, or just be telling my family, what do you think's wrong with me? What this is? I'm like,
yeah.
no, I'm writing things out a lot. I think that's been really helpful. Some people draw, some people seeing whatever that is, but like I've been really into writing like poems and things lately. So yeah,
I think that's wonderful. I think joy is something that we tend to lose when right, when sickness hits, because
yeah,
we can't imagine like if our life shifts and changes, we're like, well, what's happiness here? Like what brings us joy
yes,
anymore if it's taken from us, right? But I feel like that's the one thing that I think can heal people the most is just bringing joy back into their life. And
yeah,
like what you just did was you shifted your whole perspective. Like yeah, I can't do those things right now. I mean, again, I never say never. Right now, maybe you can't do these things, but you're like, I'm going to find a way that I can still be there enjoying the moment, even if I can't do it the way that I expected in my mind
want
right
them to
now.
be, yeah,
Like, I
hmm
think that's beautiful because you can still enjoy your life and you're not missing out on these moments. And you never know, right? We never know what's going to happen. Your life can
no,
completely shift in a month, in 2 weeks. Like, we don't know. And
yeah.
so it's just beautiful. And do you think, I know it seems like you had a huge perspective. Do you feel like illness has changed who you are as a person? Like, do you feel like like, I know it's changed parts of you, but for the better. I'm saying like for good. Has good come out of this
Mm.
illness?
I mean, that's a really great question. I think, when I got sick, like there was no good in it, I'm like, how can anything be good in this? Or my mom's like, I used to think things happen for a reason. I don't believe that anymore. Like, I hate seeing my baby suffer, those kinds of things. But I do think that, you know, I don't know if I believe things happen for a reason, but I believe that when things happen, you can try to make something good out of it. And I do think that there's some good that has come out of it. I don't think I would ever have appreciated life as much as I do now. I definitely don't think I would, just take it for granted. You just don't. You just do you know, until you lose it. Um,
Yeah.
and I I mean, the nervous system side of things, the mindset. I've always had anxiety and OCD and all these things, and they really ramped up when I got sick. But I never knew I had them until then, until I started until it was just like this fire of them. It wasn't just like a little anxiety about a homework assignment or low
Yeah.
OCD in my house. It was just like crazy amount. And so it's made me aware. It's honestly taught me more, not that I've changed, but it's taught me more about who I am in the sense of
Mm.
like, okay, like this is how your brain has worked, at least for this 30 years of your life. And so I'm still working on trying to change or at least use it in a better way. I would love to not, you know, be that type of personality, but that is who I am. I would love to be way more relaxed, like in the forest. That's who I would aspire to be. But um, but I think that the good of the illness has come from just being more aware of who I am, being able to not take life for granted and truly enjoy all the little things, whether it's my daughter, whether it's going to dinner with friends, just things you take for granted. and just learning about how important mindset, nervous system, all those things are. I didn't even know what the word nervous system was. I thought,
I
oh,
get that.
I don't even know what that means. And so just learning those things because I never even knew I, I've learned so much when it comes to that point of things, which would have never happened unless, or I don't know, but I'm assuming it wouldn't have happened the way it did unless I went through this journey.
Yeah. And I think that's beautiful. I think you're right. However things happen, I think that we can all take a lesson, right? It's almost like a lesson that happens through that. I mean, or it could, right? Again, going back to the whole perspective and mindset, like some people, it's hard to get out of it, right? So they may
Yeah.
never see the good of that something good came out of it, right? Like
Right.
they may not be able to, and even though maybe even if it's this little bit, something always, there's a lesson from this. And it does teach us. And like you said, now you know who you are a little bit more, how
Hmm.
you work, how your brain works, and you're
Yeah.
able to appreciate life more. I mean, those are all things that maybe, when you have health, you do take advantage. Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You don't know what it is when something gets taken from you. But when you get
Yeah.
that, when that happens, you're like, oh no, I never want to lose that again. So you just appreciate
Exactly.
every little thing. So I think that's beautiful.
Yeah,
What do you,
definitely.
is there anything that you want anyone out there to hear?
Oh gosh, I feel like I said a lot, but um I really feel like the biggest thing for me is just kind of going back to what I've already said, being present even in the midst of pain and suffering, still trying to find joy simultaneously and realizing how much you tell yourself in your brain all the things that you're thinking really does affect your physical body, you know, and those around you. Like I said, my husband noticed I'm talking about it less. It's still there. Um, but it just, being able to just be more present, I guess, and trying to just find those little joys even in the midst of all this. Yeah,
That's beautiful. Well, awesome, Christine. Thank you so much for being here with us and
you're
just sharing
welcome.
your journey and really just, allowing us a little bit of insight of what you've gone through and kind of where you're at right now. This is going to bring hope to people because again, it's being able to see some light. And when we're in that dark place, there's no light. So just knowing that,
No,
hey, even if this I can see this little bit, maybe there's some possibility for me. So I think it's going to be huge. So thank you so much. And
you're
for those
welcome.
of you listening, if you saw yourself in any part of this conversation, just know you're not alone, and you do not have to be alone to heal, right? It helps being with people. Sometimes even if you're not saying anything, it just helps knowing
Mhm.
that there's someone out there that understands and can see you. So again, this is the Healing House, and if you want to join us, I'll put the information below, and we'll see you next time.